Welcome back to the Reentry Room, the space where we say what working moms are really thinking and where we redesign the systems that were never built for us in the first place. I'm Alexa Starks, a leadership expert, speaker, the founder of Executive Moms, and mom to two tiny toddlers. I lead the Reentry Blueprint workshops inside companies that are ready to stop quietly losing women after maternity leave and start building workplace cultures that actually support working moms. Let's get into this episode. So, this episode is something that I hear from almost every working mom I work with that I don't know how to be all of me anywhere right now. I can't be 100% in any of my situations. Not at home, not at work, not with friends, not even in our own heads. You spend your morning, every morning, as a caregiver, a scheduler, a short order cook, a toddler wrangler. You shift into work mode then to try to be present and professional and productive while fielding Slack pings all over the place and maybe daycare calls or sends you an update. And you move through meetings, through your day with half a brain still processing who needs what for dinner, what do I have in my fridge to make dinner or I need to get, and half of a heart still grieving the daycare drop off because your kid didn't want to go to daycare today. And then you wrap up the day only to switch back to this next version of you, the evening mom, the dinner time mom, the bedtime mom. And and then you think to yourself during all that, like, did I send that follow-up message? Did I respond to that? Did I finish that project up for for today? And then maybe you're thinking, oh, maybe I can work when the kids go down. And you're having both of these thoughts that cross over into each compartment. And it's endless. And nowhere in there does it feel like there's space to be your whole self. Like your whole self and 100% work at work and 100% mom at mom time. There's no room in the corporate system for your ambition and motherhood and exhaustion that comes with it. Your sharpness and your softness. Those are clashing in corporate, and your ability to lead and your very human needs, sometimes that all falls apart. But this is not just an emotional issue. It's a systems issue. So let's address this systemic pattern for a moment. Because I've been there. I have been there so many times where I cannot compartmentalize my life. I'm a mom and an employee at the same time. Now I'm a mom and a business owner at the same time. And it all bleeds into each other. And I can't truly be 100% at work sometimes if I'm also thinking about my kids and vice versa. And so we have workplaces that were built for people with full-time support systems at home, right? Typically it's men, and men typically used to have the woman stay home and be the stay-at-home mom. And so the men didn't have to worry about any of these things. But now we have social expectations that tell moms that they need to be 100% at work and 100% at home. And when that math doesn't add up, we blame ourselves. We blame ourselves for only being 70% at work or 70% at home because we're thinking about other things or we're exhausted from work. And so now we're exhausted in our home stretch, right? And I would just want to say that you're not broken, you're not failing. This is not a you issue. You're living inside of a broken design. And that's exactly what I'm here to change. So, when I do my corporate workshops, I work with HR leaders, with people managers, and executive teams to build the systems, the structures that allow moms to bring all of who they are at work without feeling like they're too much or enough or not enough, right? And that means making sure managers understand this duality of that you are a mom 24/7. You may still be at work, you may still be doing work things, but you are also a mom. That means sometimes you have mom thoughts or you are exhausted from mom life and you're still showing up at work, but today you're only 80% uh, capable of your full workload or your maximum efficiency because you're tired. And so I work with companies to make sure that managers understand so that when you say, hey, do you mind if I push this meeting to tomorrow? I just have a lot on my plate and can't get to it today. But they understand. And so one of the things that's important is that you cannot truly design for inclusion while also ignoring caregiving. You can't say as a company you're all DEI if you ignore working parents. And you cannot build leadership pipelines when you skip over the transition back to work, that reentry experience, because that's when 1 in 3 moms quit their jobs after a year of coming back from maternity leave because of burnout, because the transition was shitty, they had bad managers and no support. And so the companies I work with are learning that if you don't create structure to support this integration, this re-onboarding plan, you create conditions that lead to the quiet quitting and disengagement and talent loss of these phenomenal working moms. So I remember I was recently speaking with a woman who was in a senior role, managing a big team. She had come back from maternity leave. This was her second kid. She had high hopes. She was ready. She was motivated. She was committed. But within weeks of coming back, she felt herself splintering, breaking. She was like, I had to go to work and pretend that I'm okay. And then you come home and try to be present for your family and pretend you're okay. And then you crash at 8 p.m. wondering if you did any of it even okay. And she said she didn't feel like a whole person anywhere. She felt like a fraction of herself all over the place. And God, that resonated so much. And I know so many other moms I've spoken to feel the same way. And that is the story for so many of us. But it shouldn't be, and it doesn't have to be. So, if you're in this fragmented space, here's what I want you to know. 1, name the fragmentation. Stop pretending that you're fine if you're not. It's okay to not be okay. And we need language like I'm holding a lot in right now, or I'm feeling like I can't be fully present anywhere. And that's okay, because once you name it, you can get the support. Like if you need to move meetings to another day, or if you need to ask your husband to pick up dinner because you just don't have the energy to cook. Things like that. And the second, set micro boundaries. Not everything needs to be a revolution and amazing. Sometimes it's a 5-minute breath after picking up your kids where you just breathe. Maybe you're just sitting in the car breathing. Maybe you're sitting in the bathroom hiding for 5 minutes, but you're just having a deep breath. Or maybe it's declining a meeting that you know there'll be an email recap for, and so you don't need to go to it. You don't have to fix everything. You just have to stop disappearing from yourself. Show up for yourself. And lastly, protect those integration spaces. Find the one room, whether it's your journal or a friend or a therapist or this podcast or your partner, where you don't have to compartmentalize and where you can say, I am a mom, I'm a leader, I'm a thinker, and I'm a whole human being. For me, I love going to the gym. That's where I can be a whole human being. I can be a business owner and a mom and a leader all in that one space. So if you're a manager or a leader, I want you to ask your team, where are we making people feel like they have to split themselves to be accepted here? And if you're a working mom, ask yourself, what do I really need right now in this moment to thrive? Because your brilliance or if you're a manager, your team's brilliance will never fully show up if they're spending all their energy hiding who they are. So, this reentry room was built for women who are tired of fragmenting themselves to fit. And the work I do inside the Reentry Blueprint workshops is designed to help companies build spaces where wholeness isn't punished, it's prioritized. Because all of you should never feel like too much. It should always be good enough. If this episode made you rethink how we support working parents, share it with someone in your corner or someone in charge. And if your company is ready to lead the change, learn more about the Reentry Blueprint workshop at executivemoms.co. Because thriving after leave should not be the exception. It should be the system.